Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said fresh sanctions from the West would not be enough to respond to the atrocities Ukrainians say have been committed in the town of Bucha, near Kyiv, where grisly images purportedly show slain civilians. There will definitely be a new sanctions package against Russia, Zelenskyy said in a video address Sunday night. But I'm sure that's not enough, he said as he made an impassioned plea for a stronger international response to Russia's invasion. Residents of Bucha have accused Russian forces of targeting civilians in a deadly campaign that Mayor Anatoly Fedoruk said left more than 300 people dead before troops pulled out of the city. Russia's defense ministry has denied the claims, calling them a provocation, despite photographs and video showing damaged city streets strewn with dead bodies. Meanwhile, in southern Ukraine, heavy fighting has continued in the besieged port city of Mariupol, according to Britain's defense ministry. It said its efforts to evacuate residents from the besieged city were set to continue Monday. Russian forces continue to consolidate and reorganize as they refocus their offensive on the Donbass region in the east of Ukraine, Britain's defense ministry has said. The defense ministry said Russia has been moving troops, along with mercenaries from the Russian state-linked Wagner private military company, into the area in its latest intelligence update. In an earlier update, it said heavy fighting continued to take place in the besieged port city of Mariupol. It said the city continued to be subject to intense, indiscriminate strikes, but said Ukrainian forces have maintained a staunch resistance, retaining control in central areas. Kyiv, Ukraine's prosecutor general says the bodies of 410 civilians have been removed from Kyiv area towns that were recently retaken from Russian forces. Irina Venediktova, Ukraine's prosecutor general, says on Facebook that the bodies were removed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. She says 140 of them have undergone examination by prosecutors and other specialists. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk says Sunday that the mayor of the village of Motysin, in the Kyiv region, was murdered while being held by Russian forces. Vereshchuk added that there are 11 mayors and community heads in Russian captivity across Ukraine. In a video address on Sunday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy denounced the allegedly targeted killings of civilians in towns the Russians occupied and called them freaks who do not know how to do otherwise. He warned that more atrocities may be revealed if Russian forces are driven out of other occupied areas. International leaders have condemned the reported attacks on the Kyiv area towns after harrowing accounts from civilians and graphic images of bodies with hands tied behind their backs. Zelenskyy has said the Russian attacks in Ukraine amount to genocide. Russia's defense ministry has rejected the claims of atrocities against civilians in Bucha and other suburbs of Kyiv. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy delivered his harshest rebuke yet Sunday as Russian forces retreated from the war-torn city of Bucha, Ukraine, leaving in their wake a mass of what appeared to be civilian fatalities. Today this appeal will be without congratulations. I do not want any extra words. Presidents do not usually record appeals like this. But today I have to say just that. To say after what opened in Bucha and our other cities, from which the occupiers were chased out. Hundreds of people were killed. Tortured, shot, civilians. Bodies on the streets. Mined territory, Zelenskyy said. The bodies of the dead were mined. Zelenskyy switched from speaking Ukrainian and made a direct appeal in Russian, saying, I want every mother of every Russian soldier to see the bodies of the killed people in Bucha, in Irpin, in Hostomel. What did they do? Why were they killed? What did the man who was riding his bicycle down the street do? Why were ordinary civilians tortured to death in an ordinary peaceful city? Why were women strangled after their earrings were torn out of their ears? How could women be raped and killed in front of children? Their bodies were mocked even after death. Why did they crush the bodies of people with tanks? What did the Ukrainian city of Bucha do to your Russia? How did all this become possible? He added, Russian mothers. Even if you raised marauders, how did they also become executioners? You couldn't help but know what's inside your children. You could not help but notice that they are deprived of everything human. No soul. No heart. They killed deliberately and with pleasure. Speaking again in Ukrainian, Zelenskyy said that evil will be punished and that he had created a special mechanism of justice in Ukraine to investigate and prosecute every crime of Russian occupiers in the country. The essence of this mechanism is the joint work of national and international experts, investigators, prosecutors, and judges. This mechanism will help Ukraine and the world to bring to justice those who unleashed or in any way participated in this terrible war against the Ukrainian people and in crimes against our people, he said.